When it comes to dealing with narcissistic people, you cannot have a healthy debate with them. It doesn't work. You just end up feeling like you're losing your mind with them, and everything just gets turned into an argument and about how you're attacking them, how you're not good enough for them. Narcissists use a lot of gaslighting, which is manipulating someone into doubting their own memory, their own feelings, their own judgment, their own opinions, their own reality. And narcissistic individuals use a lot of gaslighting, and there's some common phrases that they will repeat to you. They will repeatedly say until it's stuck in your head to a point where you believe their lies. Narcissistic individuals are some of the most insensitive people you could ever meet, simply because they lack the empathy to care about you. So they will go all out to be insensitive towards you, and if you dare bring it up, they're just going to accuse you of being too sensitive, to simply dismiss your feelings, to place the blame on your feelings rather than their behaviour. Now, with the majority of narcissistic individuals, it's best just to sort of recognise the behaviour and safely step away, because most things aren't going to compute. If you're at an event with friends and family and you're not going home with this person, you can say things like, I have a right to feel how I feel. Sensitivity isn't a weakness. Insensitivity can be. Narcissistic individuals will do as they please, whether it's right or wrong. And then when they're called out on it, they'll just claim, I didn't do that. That never happened. You're imagining things, because they want you to doubt your memory. Again, the best thing you can do is recognise that they're lying to you. They're gaslighting you. They're not going to admit fault. They don't have the capability. They don't want to take responsibility. They want to just deny all knowledge. However, in certain situations, such as in a work setting, at a family event, you can say something such as, I know what I experienced, we just remember things differently. Narcissists will go all out to hurt you in some of the most horrific ways. They'll go all out to wind you up, to punish you, to cause you hassle, to cause you grief, anything they can to gain a reaction from you so that they can sort of stand there and say, look at the state of them. And then when you do react, they turn around and claim, well, you're overreacting, to minimalise your response to their abnormal behaviour. And you could turn around, especially in a work setting, and just say, it's valid for me to react to how you've been treating me. Narcissistic individuals like to accuse you of imagining things because they don't want you to see the truth. They want you to see the illusion. So call them out on any of their behaviour. They get offended. They accuse you of imagining things to undermine your intuition, to undermine what you saw with your own eyes, what you heard with your own ears. And you can just turn around and say, I'm not dismissing this. I know what I saw. I know what I heard. Narcissistic individuals go all out with their gaslighting. They go all out with winding you up. They can take their gaslighting to the extreme where you always put something in the same place and they take it and hide it and you can't find it, and then 3 days later it reappears where you usually leave it. You can discover that they've done something and call them out, and they just turn around and accuse you of being the crazy one. And as you often end up feeling like you're going crazy around a narcissist, you often believe that they're correct. You don't recognise that it's their behaviour that's driving you to that point. They accuse you of being crazy to isolate you from others. You daren't speak to others because you think you've got really bad mental issues, rather than the narcissist being around the narcissist is causing those mental issues. Narcissistic individuals will also turn around and claim that everyone else thinks you're crazy, which is why sometimes it's best just to say, well, if that's true, I'd like to hear it from everybody else and not you. Narcissists will hurt you in some of the most horrific ways, yet they like to disguise it as humour. So they'll insult you, and then if you dare to mention it, they turn around and claim, I was only joking, you're too sensitive, you're overreacting, you can't take a joke, which is just to excuse their cruel and toxic behaviour. You can turn around and say, it didn't feel like a joke to me. Now, when you say some of these things to the majority of narcissists, it's going to drag you further into their web of doom and gloom. So again, if it's a work setting, if it's a family event, it's sort of saying it once and then safely stepping away. If you're at home with them, the best thing you can do is sort of nod along, give them the attention, give them the approval, and find a safe way out. You made me do it is another classic of a narcissistic individual, because they are not going to take responsibility for their own behaviour. They're going to shift the blame. They cheat on you, they're going to turn around and say, well, it's because you weren't paying me enough attention. They lie to you, they're going to turn around and say, well, I knew you'd react like this. Narcissistic individuals look to shift the blame onto you. One of the best responses is, I'm not responsible for your choices, because you're not. Again, with most narcissists, this isn't going to go in. Sometimes it's best to sort of say these things in your head so that their negative talk doesn't sink in. So when they're saying, you made me do this, you can say, I'm not responsible for their choices. They made that choice. They did it, not me. Gaslighters thrive when you second guess yourself. When you can calmly recognise and name what's happening, even if it's just naming it within your own mind, you can reclaim your power and your clarity. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers, and your continued support with the channel is greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books available on Amazon. How to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries, such as narcissistic individuals. 15 rules to deal with narcissistic people, how to stay sane and break the chain. Behind the Mask, The Rise of a Narcissist, which is a novel. Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, a guided journal for empowerment and recovery. And a Narcissist Handbook, the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse. If anyone is interested in those, they are all available on Amazon. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.